Am I the jerk for cutting off my parents because they plan on leaving almost everything to my disabled brother? Posted by u/away_jaguar_2813. My 24F brother, 32M, is a failure to launch. He's never been very smart. He did poorly in school and never went to college. He tried 2 different trade schools, welding and mechanics, but basically flunked out of both. He works at a gas station now. My brother and I are our parents' only children. They always treated us relatively equally, that is, until adulthood. They insisted we earn our own way, refusing to pay for college or anything else. I joined the military at 17, earned an associate degree while I was in, and used my GI Bill for my bachelor's degree. Now, I'm working toward my master's. My husband and I have bought a house and are doing well for ourselves. However, my parents fully paid for my brother to try trade school twice. They've given him cash when he was behind on rent and countless loans. They support him cosplaying as an adult, while they never paid for my wedding, education, or anything else. I don't mind so much that they didn't give me money, but I do care about the disparity in how they've treated me compared to my brother. Our parents are in their 60s now, and while they're not that old, they're both in poor health and probably won't live another 10 years. They recently started working on their will and informed us that they're leaving almost everything to my brother. However, they want me to be their medical power of attorney, manage their estate, etc. I told my parents to give my brother everything and that I'm completely done with them. They told me to have some grace and understand that he isn't very capable and will need their support even after they're gone. This morning, my mother had a doctor's appointment and asked me for a ride since she medically can't drive. I told her to ask her favorite child or pay for an Uber. Things have been tense and hostile. My brother called me to apologize and asked me not to be mad at him. I told him I'm not mad at him, I'm mad at our parents for not treating us equally. He didn't do anything wrong. Am I the jerk here? Edit. I meant to put disabled in quotation marks. My mother refers to my brother as disabled even though he isn't. She's had him tested for every kind of learning disability there is. He just has a below average IQ. She thinks that counts as a disability, but it isn't. Update 3 days later. Hey, so the consensus on my post was a bit of a mixed bag. I sat down with my parents, and I wanted to give an update and address some things. My brother is not actually disabled. He just has a low IQ, just over 80. Where I live, you need an IQ under 70 to be considered disabled and to qualify for any sort of benefits. My parents have babied him because, from a young age, he wasn't as smart as other kids, had low self-esteem because of that, and was quick to give up on things when they seemed too hard. He does okay on his own now. He works and pays his bills most of the time. He drives and lives with a roommate. On to the update. I sat down with my parents and explained that I've always felt like they treated me worse than my brother. They always emphasized to me that, as an adult, you need to support yourself and figure things out on your own. I had to join the military at 17 because I knew they'd kick me out when I turned 18. My parents never offered me any support outside of raising me as a child. They didn't buy my husband and me a wedding gift, and they didn't offer much of anything. Meanwhile, they brag about having over $1 million in the bank and succeeding from nothing. At the same time, they paid to put my brother through 2 trade schools that he failed out of, offered him money to start his own business, and always bailed him out when he was short on rent. For me, it's not so much about the money but about the disparity in how we've been treated. It's obvious that they loved and cared for him more because they were willing to do these things for him and not me. But despite them not being there for me, I've still done really well in life. I told my parents all of this, but they kept interrupting me and talking over me the whole time. They told me I'm not entitled to a dime when they die and that I'm an adult and can handle myself. They just weren't understanding or even caring about my point. They told me I need to step up and treat them better, and that it's wrong of me not to take my sick mother to the doctor or take care of her because of money. Eventually, I just gave up on trying to talk about my feelings. They just don't care. I told them that they're adults, and they're not entitled to anything from me. Just like how they were never required to help me, I'm not required to help them. I told them to completely remove me from their will. I'm not willing to be their estate executor, medical power of attorney, or anything else. I don't want a dime from them at this point, and I suggested they spend all the money they've saved over the years to pay for really good nursing homes and an estate executor because I'm no longer willing to do anything for them. My mother was floored and asked if I'd really put my own parents in a nursing home. I asked if they'd really let their 17-year-old daughter join the army to get sexually harassed by older men just so she could go to school without taking on a huge debt. My parents cried and yelled at me, and I left. And that's that, I guess. I kind of feel relieved, like a massive weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I have a wonderful husband, we own a nice home, I'm getting ready to start working on my master's degree, and we're thinking about maybe having a baby soon. I no longer have to worry about dealing with my parents. They're adults, and they can deal with their own problems, just like I've dealt with mine. And yeah, that's it. Not sure if it's the update we wanted, but it is what it is.